Hello, I'm Miss Ginsburg from KnowAtom, and today we're going to be reading Changing Seasons. This is a student reader in Unit 2. Seasons on Earth. Bird watching. Craig Tufts loves September. That's when he goes bird watching in Maine. He likes it because the weather is still good. It isn't too cold or snowy. It also isn't too hot. Craig also likes it because he can see many kinds of birds. These birds fly along the coast. Every year, many kinds of birds fly south at the end of summer. Here, it shows a bird watcher looking for birds. Different seasons. Summer is a season. A season is a time of year that has specific weather patterns and amounts of daylight. Maine has 4 seasons. Its 4 seasons are summer, winter, fall, and spring. Each season occurs once every year. Different places have different seasons. So here is a photo that shows the fall season in Maine. Look at how beautiful that is. Places near Earth's middle have 2 seasons. This middle point is the equator, right here. The equator is an imaginary line. It runs around the widest part of Earth. It is halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. Places near the equator have 2 seasons. One season is the rainy season. The other season is the dry season. What causes seasons? Seasons happen because of Earth's motion in the solar system. Remember that Earth orbits the sun. It also rotates on its axis. But Earth's axis isn't straight. It tilts to one side. This means that it leans a little. As Earth orbits the sun, its axis always points in the same direction. So here's the North Pole, the South Pole, the equator, and here's Earth's tilted axis. Sunlight hits the part of Earth tilted toward the sun directly. When the North Pole tilts toward the sun, it is summer in the north. But it isn't always summer in the north. Seasons change as Earth orbits the sun. Different parts of Earth tilt toward the sun throughout the year. The North Pole is tilted towards the sun in this picture. It is summer for parts of Earth north of the equator. Time passes. Summer changes to fall. Fall happens as Earth continues its orbit around the sun. As Earth moves, it changes its position. Its axis is no longer tilted directly toward the sun. This causes fall in the north. So fall happens as Earth moves in its orbit. Earth keeps orbiting the sun. Fall turns into winter. The part of Earth that has tilted toward the sun now tilts away from the sun. This is winter in the north. Spring happens as Earth continues to orbit the sun. It gets to a position where its axis no longer tilts away from the sun. This is spring in the north. Seasons are patterns. Earth takes 1 year to orbit the sun once. Because of this, there is a pattern to when seasons happen. They happen in a regular and repeated way every year. Places near the equator don't have 4 seasons. The sun's rays shines directly near the equator all year. This doesn't change as Earth moves in its orbit. Seasons happen in a pattern. This image shows seasons in the northern hemisphere. Flying south in winter. Many birds fly south at the end of the summer or early fall. They begin their trip when the days become shorter. Summer has long days. It has short nights. As summer turns into fall, the days become shorter. Winter has the longest nights and the shortest days. Days get longer again as winter turns into spring. Changing daylight. This happens because of Earth's tilt and its orbit. When the northern part of Earth tilts toward the sun, it is summer in the north. This part of the planet spends more time in the sunlight each day as the Earth rotates. This causes longer days and shorter nights. In many places, there are more hours of daylight in the summer. At the same time, the southern part of Earth tilts away from the sun. This is winter in the south. This part of the planet spends less time in the sunlight. This means shorter days and longer nights. As Earth orbits the sun, the part of Earth tilted toward the sun changes. This causes the length of day and night to change. Places near the equator have equal amounts of day and night throughout the year. Seasonal weather. Studying birds. Christina Paxson is a scientist. She studies birds. One year, Christina studied a kind of bird called a warbler. Christina studied warblers as they flew north over one place in Arizona. Christina studied the birds for 2 months in the spring. The next year, Christina studied the same kind of bird for 2 months again. Christina had a question. Which group of warblers passed through that one spot in Arizona first? Scientists like Christina ask questions. They use observations and experiments to answer their question. An experiment is a scientific test. It produces data. Data are numbers and observations gathered from an experiment. Scientists use the data to answer the question. Christina researched her question. She wanted to find out more about it. Christina learned there are different groups of warblers. These groups travel to different places in the fall and the spring. Several of these groups pass through one spot in Arizona every spring and fall. Warblers fly to different places in the spring and fall. The next step is to come up with a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a statement that answers the question. It can be proved true or false. Scientists then carry out experiments. They test their hypothesis. Christina and her team found an answer to their question. They found that in both years, one group of warblers passed that spot in Arizona first. Seasonal temperatures. All of the warblers spent the winter in places where temperatures were warm. Temperature is a measure of heat. It is measured with a thermometer. Heat from the sun warms all of the earth. Some places on earth are warmer than others. It depends on how the sun heats them. Earth's tilt affects how much sunlight reaches Earth. This affects the temperature of different places on Earth. Temperature also depends on the season. When the North Pole tilts towards the sun, it is summer in the north. Summer is the hottest season. The sun shines more directly on the north. Temperatures are warmer. In many places, fall follows summer. Fall happens when Earth doesn't tilt toward or away from the sun. Temperatures cool down. Many plants stop growing. In some places, leaves change color. They turn red, orange, and yellow. Some animals move to warmer places. Other animals store food. Winter follows fall. Winter is the coldest season. Earth is tilted away from the sun. Sunshine spreads out over a larger area. In many places, it snows. Some plants die while others lose leaves. Some animals find shelter and sleep until the spring since there isn't enough food. Spring follows winter. Like in fall, Earth doesn't tilt toward or away from the sun. Temperatures begin to warm up. It rains a lot in many places during the spring. The rain and sunlight allow plants to grow leaves and flowers. In the spring, birds build nests. Animals give birth. Weather changes. Every season has weather patterns. Weather is the conditions of the atmosphere in a particular place at a particular time. The atmosphere is the blanket of air that covers a planet. Weather is what the air is like outside at any particular moment. Weather always changes. The air may be warm or cool. The sky may be sunny or cloudy. It may rain or snow. What is the weather like in this photo? Water is an important part of weather. Rain and snow are both forms of water. Earth is mostly made up of water. Oceans are full of water. Rivers and lakes are full of water. Even the air around us has water in it. We cannot see the water in the air. Here is a picture of Earth, and it's mostly made up of water. Heat and water. The sun heats water on Earth. Some of the water in the oceans, rivers, and lakes turn into gas. This gas moves into the atmosphere. We can't see it, but it is still there. This is evaporation. Evaporation is what happens when you leave a glass of water outside on a hot summer day. Over time, there will be less water in the glass. The water didn't disappear. Heat turned some of that water into a gas in the air. Over time, water in the atmosphere gets cooler. It turns back into a liquid. This is condensation. The drops of the water attach to pieces of dirt or dust in the sky. Over time, many of these pieces join together and they form a cloud. When the cloud gets too heavy, the liquid water falls back into the surface. It can be either rain or snow. This is precipitation. So here's a picture of it raining, and rain is one kind of precipitation. After it rains, the water is stored in lakes, rivers, and oceans. This is collection. The water is again heated by the sun. Some of it will evaporate again. Water always moves around the planet. This movement is part of the water cycle. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection are steps of the water cycle. Wow. I learned just a lot reading Changing Seasons, and I had fun too. I hope that you learned a lot and that you had fun also. I'll see you tomorrow with another book. Bye.